Alright, you can see got all the carbon out of the end cap here. I also have gotten quite a bit of the filth off of the outside here. So this is much cleaner than it was. And it's time to get the brush end here back in place. Put our two spacer washers back on, and then this cap has those latch pieces in it, so we have to get that out and get our there. All right. We got the two latches over the metal tabs, and now try to get the rotor to drop down into the bearing on the end. There we go. Felt the rotor go into the bearing. Yep. And there's just always more carbon. Every time you think you've wiped it all up, you find some more. So, got all that wiped up. And with our okay. Alright, so that is in place for that section. And I'm gonna clean up the front part of the motor here, and then I need to take a minute and attach some new leads to the coil here, because remember, these green leads were kind of crunchy and gooey outside the motor, so I trimmed them to get the motor open. Alright, the other end of the motor housing here, I've got new leads that I soldered on and heat shrunk. When I took this off, the washers on this end stayed on the shaft real nice, so I don't have to replace the washers on this end. And I'm just gonna put the tail of the new motor leads through the hole in the housing here. Need to get our shaft into the end bearing. Okay. And keep pulling our wire tail, and then make sure that our two go. Two bolts here are coming out. There. Now, just need to get our two nuts back in place. Wait, there were washers under those. Black plastic washers to give a little cushion for these nuts. There. And see, we've got a crack here, and the crack is wider on this side. So I'm going to tighten this side first to pull the crack together, and then tighten the other side here. And then tighten both of those, and the motor is... Aha. There. Got to turn the shaft to make sure it lines the two bushing bearings up properly. But otherwise it's seems to be okay here. If the shaft was too tight when we get it back together, we have to, of course, take this apart, and there's a drill hole in this shaft for the set screw on the pulley, so yep, this is not the loosest spinning motor, but it's not binding, so we can get our brushes back in place. Make sure that I check the brushes are facing the right way with the curve matching the commutator. And you can't put the brushes in until the motor is assembled, because the caps here are in this back third of the motor, and but the brush, well, you saw earlier, the brushes are held, the brush holders are attached to the main body, or the main inside of the motor. So this is that one that was stuck real bad. Now the brushes are sliding in their holders properly, so it'll get us some much better power. And it looks like we are ready to test this. Put a plug on this and we'll try it out. Alright, I have a plug on the end of the motor here, or cord here, and there we go. Running very nicely, so that's good. That motor had stuck brushes, so I'm sure it may have run with the bad wiring on it, but it would have been low power. And I think because the cabinet this came with was junked and the controller and this plug are kind of in rough shape, I'm gonna remove the original plug from this machine and just wire it up like with the plain old control block with the 2 plugs on it, because I already have to find a controller and redo all the wire for the original plug for this. So if I have to redo that all anyway, I may as well just convert it and not have to worry about trying to reinforce this poor socket. So